Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special episode of So Random and Weird. Um, we are co-hosting today, so I am Sheena,
And I'm Sarah.
and so we decided to do some "Am I the Assholes" today. Yeah, it's been a while. We've done one before, and also this is great just in case if something happens that we can instead of being like sorry, here's we have some episodes for you to listen to. And,
Back up some oh
when
shit,
this
some whatever. Oh
exactly.
crap, we can't. Uh, but
Uh,
I like doing these. I mean, it is a little bit of a switch up, because it's like I always love voicing my opinion, but it is a little bit of a shake up. I like it. I like it.
we decided I was gonna go first, so I have the first one here. So we have here a "Am I the asshole for not wanting to invite my dad's wife to my wedding?" So, it goes, "My dad married his wife when I was 16. She has been nothing but rude to my brother and I over the last decade. I can count on one hand the number of good interactions I've had with her. I don't really speak to my dad now because of her and many other things from childhood. My dad brought up to me that he'd be at my wedding, and I said, maybe you can, but your wife definitely will not. He didn't take that well, and I couldn't, and yeah, he didn't take that well and said I couldn't do that. I told him that if he can't show up without her, he won't be invited at all. That being said, I'd like to invite my dad, I think, but I don't think he would come without her, and under no circumstances do I want her there. I am not willing to budge. For context, she bought a house while my brother lived with them and kicked him out by not buying a house with a room for him. She caused a scene at my college graduation because it was during COVID and only my mom and dad could be in the ceremony room. She has nasty comments every time I see her, and we have fought numerous times over the years because she is just so rude to my brother and I. So
I
I'm gonna, I would say not the asshole.
yeah, most definitely not the asshole. I mean, first of all, it's her wedding, okay? It's her wedding. She is allowed to invite or disinvite or uninvite anyone she chooses.
Hmm.
And I'm sorry, if it's gonna be your special day, why would you want somebody there who is going to belittle, critique, criticize, someone who is probably not going to make it very enjoyable? Like, I mean, yes, you want your family there at your wedding, but I mean, the big thing is you want to be able to enjoy it. You want to have fun. You don't want to be around people who are going to be assholes. I
Exactly.
mean, that's just
And
not
I totally agree. I mean, I had a difficult relationship with my dad, after my parents got divorced and then he got remarried and my sister and I got kicked out of the house because of how my ex stepmother treated us. And it was causing my sister to pee the bed nightly or pee on the
my
couch every night.
gosh.
And she told my dad, I can't do this anymore. And so we got shipped over to my aunt and my uncle's over in New Jersey. And once we got there, my sister had no more peeing
Like,
accidents.
no more incontinence issues.
Yeah. And so after that, I didn't really have a relationship for
Yeah.
about 7 years with my dad. So, I it's her boundary, it's her wedding,
Yeah.
and if he doesn't want if he
I
can't
mean
be her father, then
well, and I
don't
mean,
invite him.
I feel like maybe he doesn't I don't know, maybe he doesn't see what she's doing. I don't think he's the asshole. Um, it's the stepmom who's the asshole in my
Yeah,
mind. I mean, it's not I'm clarifying this because I don't wanna, like man bash or anything like that. I mean, that's not what this is, about. But, no, I mean, I think that, you know, I mean, and like I said, maybe the dad doesn't know. I mean, obviously, if he did know, if he was really aware of what was going on, then that is kind of, I mean, I'm sure he knows about some of the stuff, but maybe not all of it, or maybe. But I mean, I feel like she's not the asshole. It's the stepmom who's the asshole, and you know, the stepmom doesn't need to be there. So
Exactly. She sounds like somebody who would show up wearing white.
yeah, 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 or propose, at the wedding or
Mhm.
something. Yeah, she definitely sounds like she would be someone who just wouldn't give a shit and
Mhm.
would make it about her,
Yeah.
or yeah, or
So,
criticize and. So yeah, no, I completely agree. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. All right. So this one, okay. So okay, let me start over again because obviously I can't read today. Okay. So me and three of my friends are renting a house together and it's been almost a year. We just renewed our lease. Whenever there's an issue, I'm always the one reaching out to the leasing company and scheduling maintenance requests and taking all the phone calls. Our dishwasher recently broke and our AC has been completely out of service for a week. I've been the one fielding all the phone calls, trying to get both fixed, and honestly, I've never had a problem before, but everything between my job and all of this has been overwhelming recently. One of my roommates has an extreme fear of bugs. She has mentioned to me several times the past couple of days that she saw a couple roaches in the house. But in a way that's obvious, she wants me to do something about it, which I agree it's obviously a concern that needs addressed. But I was wanting to wait until the AC problem was fixed because I'm juggling enough as it is, and I don't have the time to call around and get quotes from professionals the next couple of days. Plus, it's 90 degrees in here. I thought about you. And I don't
mhm.
want to have to make the exterminator deal with this heat. I sprayed the house with the store bought bug spray, but she keeps pushing the issue, so I told her if she wants someone to come out sooner to call them herself. She got upset with me and said that she just feels like I'm better at this kind of thing, and she's not the best person to be doing that kind of thing. I just want my roommates to share the burden. We're all on the lease, we're all adults, 23. I'm just tired of everything falling on me, and if I don't do it, it doesn't get done. Am I the asshole? And I'm thinking,
No.
no,
No, I roommates is so hard. I could never
it is.
do roommates again, honestly. I mean, it's probably part of the reason why I'm single is because I'm like, "No roommates. No, absolutely not." I like my bed. I already share my bed with 3 other animals,
I just,
and the thi
yeah. I
it
mean,
kinda just reminds me of, like, when I had roommates a long time ago, and like, for me, I hate wearing socks. I absolutely hate and, like, I only wear them if I have to. If my feet are absolutely freezing and I can't get them warm under a blanket um, if I have to wear, like, sneakers, shoes that require socks. But I had a roommate who hated feet,
I'm
and I was
sorry.
like,
A roommate who hated feet, huh?
"Uh-huh." And I
So,
said,
like,
"I'm"
like, visual feet, like, did not like seeing
Yeah.
feet, did not like touching feet? I mean,
Yes, feet, general. Um, and she did not want me to have my feet up on the couch. And I'm like,
seriously?
well, I'm not going to be putting on socks on in this 100-degree weather that we're having.
Seriously.
And,
I mean,
so I had there was a different couch because this was her couch, the joys of being roommates.
yeah.
And
"Well, I paid
so,
for this is mine, so no, okay."
yeah,
So,
but
were you allowed
these
to at least
roommates,
cover your feet on her sofa with, like, a little blankie or something, or was she, like, anal
they
about
could
that
be
too?
covered. They
God,
could be
okay.
covered.
Okay.
But,
Mm.
I'm one of those people I can't breathe if there's socks on my feet.
Yeah, yeah,
But,
no,
I
and
mean,
if it's
it's
hot
the
out, who
same
wants to
thing.
cover feet anyway?
Right. And so I I understand, but also everybody has to do something about the situation that you live in, because if you're living there by yourself, who's gonna do it?
Exactly. I mean, you're an adult, you know? I mean, that's what drives me crazy. It's like, like my husband, it's like, "Really? You're an adult. Why can't you do this? I'm sorry." Well, you know, and, it's yeah. Well, first of all, I have a friend who's a foot fetish, so I think they should get together. I think he and her should get together. I think that'd be so
Hey,
funny. He'd be, like, going after her feet, and she'd be, like, running, screaming.
but
He no,
hey,
he
I'm
is
not above selling feet pictures. My feet, I mean,
hey,
they've
there you
been
go.
they've been through they've been through some things, so and, like, I got a really
Yeah.
janky little pinky toe. Yeah,
Um,
it's
I don't know how he likes the condition of his feet. I really don't ask him because I don't really wanna know. Um, I think they probably would have to be a little on the nicer side looking, I don't know. Um, but I think they should
well,
get
here
together because a girl who ah, a girl
for
who
free.
hates feet and can't stand feet and a guy who loves feet. So, but, um
But
but yeah, no,
mm,
I mean, yeah, I don't think she is the asshole for expecting some kind of help, um,
yeah,
around the house.
because
I mean, with
you're all
I mean,
on the
let's just
lease, you all can make a decision, and
well, and I mean, it's making phone calls. I mean, it's not like, yeah, I'm not like the greatest at making I hate making phone calls, and sometimes I might ask Mike to do it, but it's like, sometimes you gotta put your big girl panties on, and you do what you gotta do.
mhm,
So, yeah.
'cause I don't like bugs either. That's
Yeah.
why I have cats, because they go after the bugs.
Well, we have mice right now, and I swear the only reason we've lived here for the past 12 years. We've never had mice. We didn't because we had a ton of outdoor cats living around the house.
Mhm,
This street had, like, outdoor cats at the wazoo, having kittens. Oh my I mean, we always had kittens under our porch every year, multiple times a year, and I swear that's why we didn't have mice in this house. And, my neighbor who and her husband who moved in a couple years 2 years ago, they were like, "Let's try to trap some of these cats and take them to the shelter, get them spayed," because, it was a lot. I mean, they were, peeing and stuff all around, and I mean, it was a lot, but now we were able to do that successfully, but now we have mice. And it's horrible, and so I bought, like, these, like, no-kill traps, is supposed to, like, put cheese in it and it traps them, and then you can take them outside, and well, they've not
but they're gonna
worked.
come right back in.
Yeah. Well, and the cats have been chasing them, however, at nights, the one little boy likes to bring the mice onto our bed while we sleep and play with them because why not? Let's give a gift to mom and dad, because that's what they do. Cats bring us
Because you're
gifts.
awful hunters.
Yeah. Yeah, they bring us gifts. Like I remember like, they used to like put like, things in our shoes, like when I so I love being woken up in the middle of the night at like 3 a.m. to like a cat batting my ass because he's chasing a freaking mouse around on my bed. Oh my god, the first time I didn't know it happened. And Mike woke up and he actually was able to catch the mouse and he put it in the cage to take out. The second time, I I was like I freaked out, I jumped out of the bed and oh god, it's anyway.
I've only had 1 dead mouse in my bed. I have
I
had a couple of dead mice from my cats that I've accidentally stepped on in the morning, but at least they've all been dead.
well, the one time I was sitting on the bed and the cat jumps up and he has a mouse in his mouth and he drops it on the bed and I'm like, "Oh my god." And of course the mouse was playing dead because it was in the cat's mouth. So, it's playing dead because it's not dumb. Well, my cat is apparently because he's just like, "Ah." The mouse is trying to scurry away and I'm like, "No, no, 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 look, 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 it's running," and so
Yeah.
then you're like, "Ah," and,
That was me
um
with the spider
yeah,
last week.
yeah. This oh,
With my one cat that I know will definitely go after who she's the
well,
one that kept getting the mice, and so I was like, "Look!" And she's like and I'm, like, trying to point her head, "Look!"
exactly, exactly. I feel like sometimes they just don't cooperate.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's been a struggle. I don't know what else to really do with the mice situation, but, yeah,
Well,
anyway.
the only other option is, more cats or snakes.
Well, if I get snakes, my mom will never come over again, which might make Mike happy, but it wouldn't make me and my kids happy, so,
Right.
honestly, I kinda hope we get some more outdoor cats because that really did the trick.
Yeah.
Really did the
Yep,
trick.
well, that's why my mom lives out in the middle of nowhere next to a couple of potato fields
Yeah.
and
Barn cats.
Idaho. Yeah, she had well, they have cats that are inside like, they call them inside at night, and they have,
Mhm.
like, a little spot on, the porch,
Yeah.
but, they go out every day, so and then there's also, foxes and all that kind
Well,
of
that's
stuff.
that's a little more in the wild there than, Elizabethtown where I'm in the middle of town, and
Yeah.
the only thing wild around here is the homeless people down the street. Although they can be a little interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a few instances walking when I was doing my temporary work, and I was like, "Oh, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel safe." So,
For the most part, our we have a homeless shelter that's just down the street from us, and for the most part, I mean, it's been, you know, I mean, I did have someone yell at me for walking my dog because she was accusing me of letting my dog poop anywhere, and I'm like, "Excuse me." She's like, "You have a yard?" Anyway, 'cause she was all, like, ghetto, and I'm like, "Okay, well,
mhm.
this is E-Town, dude. This is E-Town. We don't need any of this shit." But, I mean, but I said, "I have a bag." I had the bag, I had the bag up. I'm like, "I have a bag. I always pick up after my dog." "No, yeah, you don't pick up," and I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And I said, "I pick up my dog after my dog. Thank you so much. Have a good day. It's nice talking to
Mhm.
you." And she just keeps going on, and I'm like, This is like trauma. Need this shit. I don't, I'm not. That's not me. I mean, I don't call out to people. I don't, But yes, I
Yeah.
mean, like,
Well,
and then there was someone who pooped behind my neighbor's shed. It's interesting. They did dig a hole though to, but yeah, it was
yeah. So,
yeah.
anyways,
Anyway,
that's a nice little segue into my next
yeah.
story.
Oh god. Oh, really? Oh, okay.
So,
That kinda scares me.
am I the am I the asshole for always making my neighbor's dogs bark really late at night? I live in an apartment complex, which means that when my dog goes to the bathroom, we have to take the elevator downstairs to the ground floor because he refuses to poop on a pee pad indoors. Plus, he's just too big for it. He's well trained and he's got a bell that he'll boop with his nose whenever he needs to go to the bathroom. And I bring him
Oh.
down. He also has a sensitive stomach, so sometimes he gets diarrhea or just needs to go poop at odd times. My neighbor has dogs that always bark at my dog. They also always bark at delivery people. This isn't a problem during the day because, frankly, neither me nor my dog cares about other dogs barking at us, especially when they're behind a door. The issue is sometimes my dog needs to go late at night, like 11 p.m. or midnight, or very rarely in the early hours of the morning or at like 2 or 3 in the morning, but usually only when he's got an upset stomach. He'll boop his bell and I'll bring him down. We're not noisy, we're just walking quietly to the elevator, but my neighbor's dogs will always know and they will start going off and barking madly. It's super loud. It will wake the entire home up. My dog never barks back. In fact, he ignores the barking entirely. We will set off the barking going down, and then we'll set it off again coming back home. My neighbors get upset about this, and I understand that it's very unpleasant being woken up late at night or early in the morning. But if my dog needs to go, I am not going to refuse for my dog to not go to the bathroom
Well,
because I don't see why I
yeah.
should or even how I should without affecting his health. So, am I the asshole for setting my neighbor's dogs off at night and doing nothing to stop it? I
No.
don't think
I
so because
I
it's not the
it's not something
dog
they're
who's
intentionally doing. It's not yeah, it's not
right. It's your dogs that you don't have trained to, know that who's coming through the door or, or the difference between friend or foe.
yeah. I mean, I would say it's the other people have to control their dog. I mean, oh my god, that was, like, when Mike lived with Pat before we got married. He had Pat, Mike's roommate, had a beagle who barked at anything that freaking moved. Like, someone would walk past the house and, she barked and, bushes, wiggled in the wind, she barked. I'm like, "Abby, shut up, stop," you know? I mean, Pat's car would roll in and, at 2 in the morning because he was just getting home from the bar because he was, a young college student, and she's barking because she's like, "Ah, he's home," and I'm like, "Shut up," because it's 2 in the morning. But, yeah, I mean, I would never blame anybody else for that crap. Now if it was the original poster, if it was their dog that was barking and their dog that was, causing the stir, then and I'm getting my dogs to bark, then maybe, I mean,
Mhm.
if it was, like, their dog barking at, first instigating it. But I mean, it could be anybody walking by. It could be anybody. It could be anything, I
Right.
mean, I
And that's
I
what it
think it's the
sounds like.
exactly. I feel like it's the freaking dog's fault, the neighbor's dogs that are the assholes and the neighbor.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
yeah.
Because I mean, what if you had a job that you worked until 2 o'clock in the morning?
Mhm.
It's not your fault that you're getting home from work and the dogs go off.
Exactly. Like, if someone you work 3rd shift, I mean, I feel like, I mean, even if it is like another dog, if they're just barking because it's just a dog, I still feel like, it's not like when I took Bailey out, when I first got Bailey, we took her out, um, we took her out to, like, hiking. We took her out hiking one time because my friend wanted to go hiking, and I'm like, "Really? Do I look like a hiker? Come on, seriously." Anyway.
I'm a hobbit
Um,
walker.
so I took my dog, Bailey. We had just gotten her. She was a pit bull boxer mix, and she loved, moving around, and, she was very athletic, um, and she was so good. And then all of a sudden, like, this woman was coming towards us with, like, these 3 or 4 little dachshunds. And all of a sudden, they're like, "Ruff, ruff, ruff," and they're going ballistic at Bailey. She did not do anything. Like, I don't remember if she responded or not, but she didn't like what she saw them, but she didn't, like, bark at them. She was really good, but once they, like, "Roar" at her, then she started barking at them, and then the woman was like, "Oh, Steve, it's a pit bull!" Freaking out. And I'm like, "Okay, first of all, my dog's on a leash. Second of all, she was fine until your little rodent started barking at her and freaking out. Calm it down, lady. Calm it down."
Yeah. Well, and
It's
I
like
like
your little dogs did this.
yeah, and I like one of these, comments they said on there, obviously not the asshole, "This is your neighbor's problem, not yours," but I see from a comment that they've already complained to the management about it. What I might recommend as insurance is to record your dog on a few of these late night restroom breaks. You can keep the camera 100% on your dog so as not to accidentally record something you shouldn't.
Yeah.
But the idea is to show that you and your dog are being quiet and that those neighbors' dogs that are the ones reacting and barking. If they've already
Exactly.
complained to management, they'll most certainly keep doing it. And sometimes management sides with whoever complains the loudest, absent any other proof. My guess is that their management complaints, they're making you and your dog out to be louder than you are. So getting some videos over a couple of week time span would be a good way to show your side of it if it comes necessary.
Exactly. I always say, and I learned this kind of from Mike's line of work because he's a paralegal. Um, document, document, document. And honestly, I learned that working in the medical field as well. However, um, you always want to make sure you have like if you
CYA,
exactly if you feel like
CYA.
there is going to be an issue or there is an issue, record it. Don't record, don't record, the other people, or if you do, you need to let them know, just so you know, I'm now recording this, just in case your state has a law, like I think Pennsylvania does, as long as you disclose that you're recording it, you can record somebody, but you have to disclose it first to them.
Well,
Um,
yeah, it depends on your state because there are
it
states
does
where
depend on
if
your
as
state.
long as
It does.
one person.
Exactly. It does depend on the state, but I know Pennsylvania, as long as you disclose you're recording it, if the other person stays and continues to talk in the conversation, that is them basically acquiescing and saying, "Okay, that's fine," and but if they were like, "Nope, I'm not doing that," and walk away, then but, no, I mean, just record and document, and that way, if it comes up, you can say, "Hey, look, you know, this is what I have." And, keep everything. If they
Mhm.
send you emails, nastygrams, whatever, notes, keep it all. Don't throw it away. Document, document, document.
Yep, yep,
Um,
because the same thing kinda goes like when I worked at Walmart many, many years ago. I
you worked at
had
Walmart.
this yeah, before I moved out to Pennsylvania while I was in college.
Oh,
Um, yeah. So I had this like one of the rules is like to make sure that there is nothing that's going to make it easier to hurt yourself on the job. And so there were people who were shopping um a clothes rack, and you know how there's the clothes racks that look like they've got the two on this side and two like this way,
yeah,
like this.
yeah,
Uh
yeah,
And she my one of the supervisors wanted me to go over and, like, um, pull down the things, but it's the rule was is that if somebody was shopping that, you don't do any work on it as they're shopping on it.
yeah.
So, like, I was waiting for them to go, and so then, um, she got really upset about it, and, um, they, um she went over there, had me help her pull it up. Now it was full of shirts and men's shirts. So men's shirts are a bit heavier than women's
Yeah,
shirts.
yeah.
So I had to hold them up as she pushed the button to pull it down. Well, so I was doing as what my supervisor said, and then it came crashing down on my finger. And it actually fractured like right here in this little area.
Oh my gosh.
So then, of course, after I went through the whole rigmarole of, workman's comp on that
Workman's
because
comp,
it
yeah.
wasn't my fault. Um, I got pulled in for a training
Oh,
about it, and I said,
seriously?
"Well, are you?" And I said to my supervisors, the it was one of the co-managers and my like manager of my department. And I said,
Uh-huh.
"Are you going to do the same thing for my supervisor for the supervisor who told me to do
Yeah,
this?" Because I was waiting. I knew that I needed to move all of those shirts over and onto the other side where people were shopping. So I didn't do anything. And she got in a, and they're like, "Oh, well, we didn't know." And I'm like, "Of course you're not going to know.
exactly.
She's not going to include
Exactly.
in there that
That it was her
she was
fault.
the one."
Insist
Mhm.
yeah, who insisted. So, did you still have to do the training or did they
Well, it was I had to sign the form and stuff about it because and I'm like,
such BS.
"Yeah.
That's such BS.
Yeah, yeah."
All right. I like this one. This one was really this one was fun. Um, all right. A few months ago, I attended a close friend's wedding with my husband. I wore a yellow dress. Think like Belle in Beauty and the Beast. The beast yellow. Bumblebee yellow. So yellow that I did not question if it was appropriate or not to wear to a wedding, and neither did my friends nor family. I arrive at the wedding. We have the ceremony, the cocktail hour, the dinner, and the reception. I get many compliments on the dress, and the bride even comments on how much she loves it several times. Towards the end of the reception, the venue dimmed the lights and turned on some black lights. These black lights made my dress appear more white than yellow. A member of the wedding party approached me while the black lights were on and stated that I need to leave because my dress was white and inappropriate. I stated that the dress was yellow, but the black lights were making it appear white. The member of the wedding party stated that if I didn't leave, she would make me. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I stated, I'm here to celebrate my friend, repeated that the dress was yellow, and said I will not be leaving early. Bride and groom hadn't left yet, and I came from overseas. So she was just, FYIing us. The conversation, while heated, did not have raised voices or foul language from either side. Um, but I will say it was tense, she said. The wedding party member walked off, and I watched as they immediately went to talk to the groom, angrily pointing in my direction. The groom shrugged and continued to dance. The next morning, I was approached by a different friend at breakfast, not in the wedding party, who stated that they heard what happened and that I should have left when asked because it made people uncomfortable and that I made it about me partying rather than respecting wedding etiquette.
This is where I would be cussing them out. Anyways, continue.
Yes. So she wants to know, is she the asshole for wearing a yellow dress to a wedding and not leaving when asked?
Absolutely fucking not.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would've been like obviously, it was one fucking person who was like, "Oh my god." Like, what
And
happened if you had worn, like, a lime green dress and it did the same thing? Or a pink dress, you know? Pink, depending
exactly.
on how light the pink dress was, it coulda
Exactly.
showed up white. This person obviously would be a bridezilla and
Yeah.
just needs to be in somebody's business and had no right to do that, especially because the groom was like, "Whatever."
Exactly. I mean, the groom didn't seem to feel that this was a big deal. So, yeah. Yeah.
I
Exactly.
roll. I roll.
Exactly.
I would have been like, for me, because for me in the past, I have not been heard when I've said things, or I've always been the meek back down. If that
Yeah.
was
I'm
me
not a
now,
confrontational person. I wasn't until I had kids and I got a little
I
older,
have to
a
be
little more
pushed to a
confident in myself.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to be pushed to a point, but I'm also more confident in myself. And
Yeah.
I would have grabbed her by her hair and pulled her out.
Well, I mean, I like to keep the peace. I'm like my dad in the fact that, I do I am not a confrontational person. I do like to, try to like resolve things peacefully, like, hey, we can resolve this. But if they're going to continue to be assholes, or if they're going to be assholes, then I get like my mom and I get sarcastic and I'm like, nope, I'm not dealing with this shit.
Right,
Because
and especially my response would have been at first to be like, "Well, you're not the bride or the groom, so I don't have to listen to you."
exactly. Exactly.
And
If the
then
bride and
the
groom
person
have
the
an issue
next
with me, they
morning
can come to me.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then the person the next morning who's saying, some, people felt uncomfortable." You know what? Were you the uncomfortable witch? No? No, you didn't care? You didn't notice?
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
last night at the party, but you heard it from so and so.
Okay. Yeah,
Who
exactly.
okay,
I mean,
and also tell them that she went off and stormed off to the groom, and the groom went, "Whatevs."
yeah, he shrugged. Now, I mean, was he shrugging like, "Well, what are we gonna do? We can't, like, visibly, we can't, like, forcibly kick her out," or was he just like, "Oh, who the fuck cares?" I don't know. I don't know what the shrug was about. But,
Mhm,
I mean, if the bride and groom are going to choose not to make a big deal out of it, then why should other people? It's their
exactly.
fucking wedding. It's
Mhm,
their day. And
yeah,
they knew it was yellow. I mean, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna fucking test your dress under black lights before you buy it? Like, who's gonna do that? Who is going to test an outfit under black light? Who is going to think to
right.
do that under black light? I mean, now, if they said in the invitation, we will be having black light at our wedding. Please, make sure you dress appropriately to make sure that, I mean, first of all, I don't know how you're gonna test for that anyway, and why I mean, if you're gonna do black light, then fucking calm it the hell down because yeah. But the point is, I mean, it was so ridiculous, and I was like, "I have to share this one because it's so stupid." So, yeah.
Yeah. Also, I would have hoped to had some red wine. "Oh,
Yeah,
no, I think you need to go."
exactly. It's like, "Oh,
'Cause
darn, I
I
messed
have
up."
entered my petty bitch era.
Well, like I said, we've gotten to the point where we're older, we're more confident in ourselves. Um, like when we were younger, like when I was in my 20s, I didn't want to rock the boat. I didn't share my political beliefs. I didn't share my religious beliefs. I didn't, because I didn't want to argue. I didn't want to make anyone mad at me. I didn't want to la whatever. Just put a big welcome on my forehead, fucking welcome
Mhm,
that. Um, but now I have no problems talking about my political beliefs. I still am a little hesitant about my religious beliefs, especially in this area because it is so conservative.
well,
And I
yeah,
really
and the stupid law that's in Pennsylvania
yeah.
about
But I
tarot.
mean, oh god, I know. But, I have no problems sharing my political beliefs on Facebook and talking about my ideas and my thoughts in the current administration. And I think to myself, you know what? If, Secret Service comes or the FBI or whatever, fucking arrest me. That's okay. I'll sue. I will be happy to sue and get money. Give me a civil rights
Mhm,
lawyer. It'll be great. I love it.
yeah,
Love it.
yep,
Yep. I'll sue and I will get money. So thank you.
yes. Yeah, "Come at me, Cash. Can you see me?"
Exactly. Exactly. You know what? It is freedom of speech. It is the very first amendment that you people talk about all the time. Freedom of frickin' speech. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. Right there. So,
Okay, so then I'll go ahead and I'll do my last story,
okay.
which this one
Oh my god.
makes me just
I know. My last one is gonna be mm.
So I'm not gonna to read the title of it,
Okay.
just because it kinda gives it away.
Okay.
So, a few days ago, a man came to talk to me about what my kid had been doing. When he approached, he was clearly upset and shaking a bit as he talked. He informed me oh, excuse me. He informed me that he had just caught my son turning around in his driveway. I assumed he meant my 15-year-old who drives, but quickly learned it was actually my 10-year-old on his bike. Since a kid riding across a driveway is literally the most benign thing I can think of, I expressed some shock that he was taking an issue with this. I refused to acknowledge it was a problem, at which point he called me an asshole. I gave him my name and asked for his, but he refused. He also refused to tell me where he lives, asserting that all driveways are off limits. and it didn't matter where he lived. I left it with telling him that it was absurd to complain about a kid riding a bike, but offered to tell my son to stay out of his driveway if he would tell me which driveway was his. Am I
Yeah.
the asshole here? Is a driveway sacred ground that no bike tire should ever touch? To me, it's absurd. Absurd. Yeah. But I thought maybe Reddit would know if kids on driveways is forbidden. And edit, just to be clear, I told my son to avoid the driveway. We were able to figure out where the guy lives and all other driveways just to be safe. But here's the thing. Definitely not the asshole.
Yeah.
Um,
I
and
Well,
here's the
people
reason.
turn around in driveways with cars all the fucking time. Like you turn down the wrong street and you're like, "Oh crap, I got to turn around." But there's no side
Mhm.
street. So, I mean, you pull into a driveway, you back out, you turn around and you leave. Like, I mean, I now if he was
And
like
you
if they were like, hanging around like, "Hey, yo, let's hang at this guy's driveway," and they were hanging out there for hours and partying and drinking from solo cups and, listening to music and chalk drawing on okay, then yes. But what the fuck is the big deal? What is the big deal? I don't understand. Like are we that anal that we can't have a kid cross a driveway or go into a driveway, quick turn around and leave again? I mean, he wasn't loitering, he wasn't, graffitiing anything, he wasn't, causing property damage from what the poster says. I mean, so what is the big deal here? I'm not understanding why this guy was so
Mhm.
ticked.
Yeah, and especially because most neighborhoods, it's the sidewalk, you know? It's part of your sidewalk,
Yeah.
and that is technically not your property. That dip where the sidewalk is, not your property.
I mean, I don't understand what the big deal was. Now, if like I said, if there was property damage, if he was loitering, maybe then I could understand. But I mean, I feel like some people they get off on bitching. I do. I feel like there are people who just they're like, you know what, God, I haven't bitched in a long time, and I'm jonesing, man. I'm jonesing for a bitch, man. Fuck. Oh my God, the kid just turned around on my driveway. I got a bitch. Yeah, seriously. That's
Mhm.
insane.
Yeah,
I
and
just
the other insane thing is there's people on here who are like, speaking as someone who has scratches on both sides of their car from my own kids getting their bikes too close, you're the asshole. Your child should not be riding their bikes in someone else's driveway. They can ride their bikes on the sidewalk, which crosses the foot of the driveway or the street, but they should absolutely not be going into people's driveway. FY, in addition to respecting neighbors' privacy and personal property, some people have invisible fences for their dogs, and that includes the driveway space. Your child could be endangering themselves by entering the territory of an unfamiliar animal. So,
so
which
did
that
people
is complete and utter bullshit because
exactly. What does a frick does an invisible fence have to do with anything? Wait a minute. So did people actually say that the poster was the asshole? Was that the
yeah, somebody
consensus?
said, well, there's no consensus on
Or was
this
that just
yet.
one of them say okay, okay.
It's one of them who's saying that. And I'm like,
Oh.
if you're
Maybe
so
that was the
worried, maybe you should move out to the country.
yeah.
Maybe you need to get
Wow.
out of the neighborhood because kids,
Maybe
you know, kids are gonna use the sidewalk
yeah.
because it's their right to use the
I mean
sidewalk, and if they're
I mean,
just turning around and they're not hurting your property,
they're not
then
damaging it, they're not what's the big deal? I mean, like, the back in the '60s, like, I think of the Wonder Years, okay? I think of the Wonder Years, like, I love that show, and, like, everybody knew everybody, and the kids are riding their bikes all around, and you're like, you would go into other people's yards. I mean, that was okay back then, and we're talking like, people were like, "Oh, hey, Skippy, how's your mom today?" And, like, it was okay. I mean, people, kids were like, everyone looked out for everyone else's kids and shit like that. I mean, and that was acceptable and that was cool and that was people were not as nasty about, "Oh my god, there's a kid walking, on my sidewalk or in my driveway," I mean, it seemed like it was so much easier, like, so much looser then and more relaxed and more carefree, and now, I mean, we have people who are so anal about
Mhm.
I mean, there wasn't anything, like, that was destroyed. I don't understand, like, if now, I had a kid, who was on the sidewalk in front of my house, and we have stones, on our little, like, garden thing, because our you have to go upstairs to get to our porch, so we have, like, a little garden thing that's kinda like, like a level above the sidewalk and then, like, more steps. And I had a kid who was reaching through the fence and picking up stones and throwing it at my house. That was unacceptable. Because obviously
Mhm.
he's first of all, he's touching the stones on my property that were expensive, the little, decorative stones, and then throwing them at my house, hitting my wall, hitting my windows. That was unacceptable. This kid did nothing from what the poster is saying. And if that is
Mhm.
true, then this neighbor completely overreacted in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's because that's the only way that I can think that this is set up. Because, I lived in a cul-de-sac,
Mhm. Yeah.
growing up,
Yeah.
and, and I tried to do as best as I could to avoid things. I couldn't avoid rocks. That's how I broke my wrist, learning how
Mm.
to rollerblade, you know? But, you know, if the kid was just on, like, the sidewalk like most normal suburbs are, then they have nothing to fucking complain about.
Exactly, exactly, and that responder needs to take the stick out of their ass too, because that's just
Mhm.
ridiculous. That's just
Yep.
ridiculous. I mean, they're kids for God's sakes. I mean, are you going to, like, bitch and moan and complain about every little single thing they do? Like, if they're outside playing, let them be outside and play. It's better than them being inside and watching TV and being on the VR or being on the Xbox or being on the PS5 or whatever. I would love for my daughter to go outside and play. Like, play, be with friends, use your imagination like we used to do before computers and technology. Like, if a kid is outside playing and they're not causing harm, they're not screaming, bloody murder, they're not, you know, hurting anything, leave them be.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Leave them
mean,
be.
personally, I hate it when kids are out for supper, and especially when I was working for at a job that I would have to be there at 6:30 in the morning, and I
Mm,
was going to bed. But you know what? I turned on my air conditioner, didn't hear it as much. Not to mention I
yeah,
was passed the fuck out.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, I hate it. But you know what? I used to be that kid.
exactly, exactly. And that kid is not doing any harm. That kid, it could be a lot worse. That kid could be selling drugs. That kid could be playing rap music, at 80,000 decibels. That kid could be
Or
defacing your property. That kid could be
mm,
stealing from you. They're not. If they're not doing anything wrong to you, leave them be and just live your life. Move on. Get
mhm.
laid. Obviously, you need it. For God's sakes, or, play with yourself or something. God, I seriously, like, maybe honestly, this neighbor sounds like they were probably older and they probably haven't had sex since Reagan. So, it's like, please just go inside and get a vibe or something. I don't know. Beads. Oh,
Go smoke a
whatever.
joint.
Exactly. Get high. I mean, they probably weren't stiffs when they were younger. Oh,
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Though, of course, I like that whole saying, yeah, you get more, conservative as you get older. The
You
fuck
do.
I did.
Well, and that scares me because I don't wanna get conservative. I don't wanna get, like, "Them darn kids when I was their age," I don't want that. I want to remember what it was like. I want to I don't wanna be like that. I don't. Scares me. I still wanna, like, be cool and even if my mom even though if Arya says to me, "Mom, don't talk loudly like that. You're embarrassing me." I'm like,
You're like,
we
"One
were
day you will be like me."
I took her to camp this morning and I forget what I was saying, but I was like, I said something and she's like, "Mom, don't call out like that. You're embarrassing me." And I was like, "I wasn't what? I was I was just talking. What do you say? What?" Anyway.
Yeah,
All
but there
right.
were well, I mean, I have sat there like this even now.
Uh, my mom liked to embarrass me. She chose to embarrass me. She would freaking skip down aisles at the supermarket because she knew it would embarrass me, and she loved it. She was enjoying it, and I'm like, "Thanks, mom. Thanks,
Okay, well, that's nicer
thanks."
than with having, like I have, like, this spot on the side of my neck that's,
Mhm.
like, olive compared to the rest of me, and when I used to, be able to tolerate being out in the sun, um, it would get really, really dark. I mean, I used to get really, really dark as a kid. So, and my mom goes out in the middle of the store and goes, "Oh, what is that? Is that a hickey?" And I'm like, "What?"
Oh my god, are you serious? First of all, she's your mom. She didn't know you had that. Second of all, how old were you?
I was a teen and, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
she knew
you were
because
Mormon,
it's
but
always been there.
yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, how did she not know that that was there? Like, did she purposely say that to embarrass you, or she
Yeah,
did? Are you serious? Oh my god, that's horrible, and loudly like that too.
yeah, in the middle of Walmart.
God.
I could have died right there. I would have if, human combustion was available in that situation,
You would have
I
done
would have
it.
done it. I would have busted into a billion bats.
All right. Like you, well, I didn't read titles for any of my last ones. I'm not gonna read the title for this one either because this is um it would spill the beans. I read this and I flipped immediately.
This isn't
So
gonna make me cry like the last time.
no, no, it's gonna make
Okay,
you livid. It's gonna make you livid.
okay.
So my boyfriend is really protective over his furniture. I assume it's because they're white. This really shows when I'm on my period. My boyfriend does humiliating things like placing sheets on all of the chairs and lounges. I feel like if I were to leak, I'd just leak through the sheets anyway. And he makes me sleep in the guest bedroom on the first 2 days of my period, which are my heaviest days. And then he even asks me about when was the last time I changed my tampon. I'm a grown woman who has had her period since the age of 12. I do I love your face. I don't need someone to remind me to change a tampon. When he does this, I just feel embarrassed and it gives me the vibe that he cares more about materialistic objects than me. I'm not even allowed to cuddle with him during my period. He acts love your face. He acts like I'm just gushing like a waterfall or something. I started my period yesterday and as I expected, the sheets come out. I decide to put my foot down and I take off all the sheets and which got my boyfriend irritated, to which I told him that he needs to stop treating me like a leaking juice box. He's saying that I have no right to prevent him from keeping his expensive furniture clean and that I'm the one acting like a jerk. I need to know, am I the asshole? First of all, I have to preface this by saying, girl, I
Dump
you
him.
shouldn't even be asking if you're the asshole in this situation. You should not even be
Right,
asking if you're the asshole in this situation, and you need to get some self-confidence right now in yourself.
right. Because 1, dump him, because 1,
Thank
he's
you.
gay. Dude just wants another dude. 2, if furniture is going to have so much shit on it anyways, right? And if his prized possessions are inanimate objects that serve a purpose, that every day your butt is going to be on, and every time you fart, you're going to leave your fart stank all over it, then get rid of him.
I mean, I'm sorry. First of all, I don't really know why companies make furniture that's white, okay? I mean, they're only white is probably only for the dinks, the dual income, no kids, because if you have kids, forget the
Not
white.
even that.
If you have pets, forget the white.
If you
I
have a
mean
me, forget
I
the
mean
white. Do you know how many
but the
times I have dropped spaghetti sauce all over
exactly, exactly.
myself?
I mean, furniture is going to get messy no matter what. So, my question is, if you first of all, why the fuck are you getting white? Second of all, if you can afford expensive furniture, then you can afford to have it cleaned. So you know what? If she does get it stained, you can get it fucking cleaned. Fuck you. You're an asshole. But some of the comments, I love some of the comments because they were
You
just
know what? I
great.
would free bleed. I would just wear a dress, no underwear, sit
But yeah,
down and just
not even period underwear, just like bleed all over it, man. Bleed all o but I like so this person was like, not the asshole, just out of curiosity, does he have any redeeming qualities besides owning furniture that he cares about? Love that one because I was like, "That's so great. That's so great." And then, this one was like, "This is actually quite disturbing behavior. He's treating the OP like a dog in heat. It makes me wonder about his personality and views towards women in general. For his screwed up
Mhm.
reasoning to work, he'd have to ask any woman that comes into his house if they're having their period," which is true. I mean I mean, if he have his sister, he has friends, whatever, is he gonna be asking every single one of them, "Are you on your rag today? Are you on your rag today? Can't come in, can't come in." You know? And, it's I love it, like, people were really like, okay, and of course, they were also like, dump him now, don't look back." Um, and that's I can't believe that there would be somebody like this out there. I mean, the man you has serious problems with women. I mean,
Mhm.
serious
The
problems
thing
with women.
is
There is something major
men
underlying right there. Something
men
major under
don't like women, just point blank. They don't
some.
like women.
We can't say
98%.
we can't say
Okay?
that okay, male bashing. We're gonna, we're gonna male bash all our listeners, male
No,
listeners.
but I'm just
No,
saying, you know, when
I
it
think
comes to things like this, it's like, what is he gonna do? Tell you to hold it? This isn't
well,
a pee.
there are some men who truly don't understand the female body. They truly don't understand. Like, they don't know we have 3 holes down there. They don't know, you know I remember, I was reading an article about, there was a woman who was going around who was asking men of all ages, you know, do they know, you know, that we have, this or that, and there were a lot of comments from, the male, police that she was going to that had no clue about, what a period is like, what we go through, um, about our anatomy. I mean, I was, like, dumbfounded, because, I mean, these guys really truly don't seem to know, and I thought,
Or
"That's
care.
sad." Well, I don't
Or
know.
care
I
to
mean,
know.
if
They
they're
don't
not
care to
taught
know.
but some maybe not. Some maybe don't wanna know, and that's a shame because I'm sorry, but if they have daughters, if something happens to the
Mhm.
mom, what are they gonna do to the daughter? I mean, how are they going to tell them, "Okay, now this is what you need to expect." Like, when you get your period, when you go through puberty, when you do this. I mean, that and that's a shame. Like, they really should be aware. I mean, we have to know about some of their stuff. I mean, like, I had to find out about, like, what guys go through so I could help Tyrion and talk to him about growing up. I mean, you learn. But,
Right. Well, and the thing is too, I saw this reel that said, since women have like the uterus and everything, that's there, how does this affect males' anatomy? And the guy goes, well, what it is that that's where men store all of their audacity.
I like it. I I I mean, I'm all for guys learning or wanting to learn or asking questions about, well, how does that work? Or how does, great. Ask the questions. I mean, that's how you learn. And it shows that they want to learn. But I mean, there are some guys that truly don't seem to care and truly feel like or act like, like Mike said to me one time, he's like, I don't trust anything that bleeds, for 7 days straight. And
It's because I'm stronger than you.
I'm like, yeah, I want you to try to go through labor. I mean, I seriously, he just sits there with his dog. And I mean, I want you to try to go through labor.
Right.
Get
Again,
cramps.
audacity.
But no, it's I don't know. I
This
read
is
that and I
probably also the same kind of guy who's like, well, why should tampons and pads be free?
oh yeah, I read that news article. That schools wanted to do this in Pennsylvania, that they want to supply schools with with free, sanitary napkins and tampons and stuff in the bathrooms, and I read comments on Facebook, it was, like, on WGAL, of people saying, "Well, why," and I'm thinking, "Really?" 'Cause they're like, "Well, the nurse has them for free," and I'm thinking and I said in my comment, I said, "So you want a young girl who is in middle school or high school to have to pull up her panties and her pants, shorts, whatever, and walk from the bathroom to the nurse's office as she's actively bleeding through her underwear and through her pants? Really?
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
want this to happen in a middle school and high school environment where she's gonna get ridiculed like freaking crazy because she's bleeding through her clothing, because she
Hmm.
doesn't have anything, and you want her to walk to the nurse's office, which God knows where that could be in the school.
Hmm.
Really? Think about that.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
said that. And I said that
Yeah.
because I'm
You
like,
know
that
what?
brought out my mama bear in me, and that brought out the feminine in me, and I thought, "You have no clue," and I think that was actually a woman that had commented on that. It was not a man who had said that, it was a woman, and I
Hmm.
really expected more from her because 'cause I'm like, "You've probably been in this situation." Like, when my mom went through menopause, um, I felt so bad for her. She had just gotten a job at a doctor's office where she had to wear white pants to work, and she ended up getting her period, and when you're going through menopause, your periods get horrible, horrible. Worse than they probably have ever been in your life. I mean, she was just blowing, and she bled through her pants, and it was horrible. She was embarrassed, and and I'm like, you know, to make someone deal with that and to make someone go through shit like that when there's no reason to.
Hmm.
There, you know, there was no I mean, schools can supply this for free for girls in the bathroom, and people are like, "Oh, they could just take shit." Well, obviously, if they need to take them because they have no money to buy this shit, then let them take it,
Hmm.
yes. It's
Yeah.
fucking pads and tampons, for God's sakes. It's not like it's, gold bullion and diamond necklaces and shit. It's sanitary
Right.
napkins.
Exactly. And you know what? When I worked in an FBI building, guess what? Pads and tampons weren't charged in our building.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly don't feel like they should be I think they should be free for for all women because this
Hmm.
is something that we have to deal with. Men don't have to deal with this. I can promise you that if men had to deal with periods, if they had periods, all this shit would be free for them. There would be no
Hmm.
debate because why would they want to go through this and be embarrassed and be mortified, having to stand up in front of a room full of CEOs and have their period and have blood all over the back of their pants and shit. They're not going to want that. But
Hmm.
because it's us, I feel like we have to fight for it more. We have to fight for
Yeah.
it more. That's how I
We have
feel.
to fight for everything more.
Um,
So,
yeah, and I feel it's because there are some men who just are afraid of women being in power and women having more than them, and it's like, we don't want more than you, we just wanna be equal.
Mhm.
That's what we
We
want.
don't want to be scared to walk down a street. We don't
Yeah.
want to sit over here and be told we're less than
We
when
want the same pay. If we're doing the same job
yeah.
as you, we want the same pay as you. Why? Why is that
Mhm.
so hard to understand? I mean, and in some ways, yes, we are different because obviously we get, we have babies, we get periods, they don't. But it's like we are, there's no proof that men have, smarter brains and or better genes or so why are we treated differently from you? I It's a simple
Yeah, I
question.
mean,
Um,
and the thing is too is when women handle stress a lot better because we're
we do.
wired to.
We do. I mean, we can talk things out, men a lot of men tend to, fight, get angry, get loud, get, violent, get
Get
whatever, and it's
emotional.
yeah, and it's we tend to just be able to be like, talk like you and me, like, "Hey, what's going on? What's happening? Why are we feeling like this? Let's, tone it down. You're at a 10, I need you at a 4, you know?
Oh, well, I'm gonna go up to a 20. It's usually because there's a man involved. But
Well,
anyways,
anyway, so it just that article, I thought, first of all, girl, you deserve better. And I don't know. I mean, that I do question the there is something deeper behind that. There is something deeper, and I don't know what that is because I'm not a psychology major, but putting sheets down on furniture. This is someone First of all, this is someone that he's supposed to be in love with. This is someone he's supposed to love and care about and respect, and to me, that's embarrassing, it's disrespectful, it's
mhm,
hurtful, it's degrading. Um,
mhm,
I mean, that's just not something you do to someone you love.
no,
That's not something you do. You don't treat them, and that would be like, if my boyfriend or my husband was, had Down syndrome or something, obviously he couldn't help, and I didn't wanna touch him or didn't wanna, because it's like it's what contagious, it's spreading. I mean, I feel like that's how he's treating this girl, like, he can't even, like, they can't cuddle when she has her period, like, he can't touch
yeah,
her?
yeah.
That
It's like
there's something not right there. I don't know. I don't know if he has, women, psychological issues with women. I don't know, but there's something not right there. If that
or he's trying not to be gay.
I don't know. I mean, that could be. I mean, I maybe he is in denial. I don't know. I
He's so far in the closet that he's in Narnia.
in Narnia. Well, I think didn't our friend in 5th grade, like, he like, you know who I'm talking about.
Mhm,
Okay. Um, didn't he kind of, like, have issues with, like, weird, like, things like that and didn't wanna, like, touch and, not like when we were, like, had our periods or anything? Because I mean, we weren't friends really, but, like, he had some weird, like, phobia fear things, didn't he?
I don't remember.
Do you remember that? Okay. So, I mean, I wonder, maybe he is gay, I don't know. But anyway, I just got outraged when I read it, so
Yeah. No, I'm if it's just like today when I was talking to my therapist and I'm like, I don't need to have a relationship. I don't even really want to have another roommate, because it's not worth my peace. And so as soon as anybody's not worth the peace that I have finally brought to my life, gone. And I'm a
well, I mean
Scorpio, so I will throw the match.
well, when you get to be a certain age, I mean, I think you get to this point where you you know what you want, you know how you want to live, you know what you want from life. You're like, you know what? If this is gonna be a hassle, I really don't want it. you know? I mean, because 'cause you're at that point where, you're midlife or older, and you're like, you only have how many years left? And this is really depressing sounding. But I mean, you're like, "Why do I want to go through all this hell again if it's something that I really don't want or someone that is, not worth my time?" And, it's, um, it's just yeah, I mean, you get more decisive about what you want and what you deserve and what you need, and you're more honest with yourself, you know?
Mhm. Yep. That's something that I wish I had way back when, but oh well. You live and you
No.
learn, and that's how you grow.
And then you get loves, no. Um, well, like I said, I mean, like I said, I if anything were to happen with my marriage or if Mike, passes before me, I can see myself being in a relationship, I mean, I can see myself being with somebody, but I don't think I'd wanna do the whole marriage thing again. I'd live with somebody,
I'd
I'd
share a
want
duplex.
you share a duplex. I mean, or, we could have, like, a living arrangement, I mean, but I wouldn't wanna go through all of this again, and,
Mhm,
yeah. You know, I think I'd wanna find love at some point, I'd want to yeah. I think marriage can lead to complacency. I mean, I feel that's kind of where I'm at sometimes, you take each other for granted, um, and, I feel like, maybe there would be love again, um, because I am a people person. I do, I like being with people sometimes, but, yeah, yeah. I would not do the whole marriage thing again. I really wouldn't.
nobody's
Unless I lie. Unless there was, like, maybe health issues and I needed to get them, like, on my health insurance or something. I I I lie. I mean, but then obviously that might still be like, in name only, like, we love each other, but you live in your house or apartment, I live in I don't know. It's just the living together, like, I just don't want another child to take care of,
Yep,
you
well, and
know?
like I told
Like
my therapist this morning, I said, "Nobody sold me on the idea."
yeah, yeah.
So,
I mean,
that's why nope.
if if I lived with somebody again, I'd wanna make sure that they know that, like, we're partners, that that's I would need the assurances that we're in this together.
Mhm,
Um, if need help, let me know. If I need help, I'll let you know, you know, but I'm not gonna be taken care of and waiting on you and, being mommy and being nurse and being cook and being the laundress and being this and and wearing all these different hats and getting nothing in return.
mhm. Yep,
Sorry, did that
yep,
shit. No more, so yeah.
yep. No, totally agree, and not gonna that's the end of our men bashing, we promise.
Yes, I'm sorry. I know. I I
It's
told a
just
friend of mine
y'all make it too easy.
I told my friend, I said, "We're not gonna man bash, I promise," 'cause he listens to us and he's, like, "Oh, you did it again, you're man bashing," and, he was like when I told him we're doing our thing tonight again, he's like, "You're gonna man bash, aren't you? You're gonna man bash." I'm like, "No, we're not, you're not." He's like, "Well, 90% of the stories are gonna be, like, about how men are wrong," and I'm like, "Well, a few men in the
We
stories that I
agreed
have
with
are
the
wrong."
groom.
But,
We agreed with the groom,
we did, I mean, we shrugged it off, he shrugged it off, we shrugged it off, you know? But,
but yeah, if they didn't make it so easy, as low hanging fruit like that. Just
Well, like I said, I don't know if it's a power thing. I don't know if it's, whatever, but I mean, I feel like it's sometimes with some men, um, it's a struggle to, I guess, what let us lead. I don't know to say. I don't know. I honestly don't know what goes through the minds, but I think
I don't
it's
know.
I think they're afraid of losing power. I do. I think that's what it is.
Mhm.
I think
Well,
that's what my friend said too. I mean, he said I think it's a power struggle. I mean, and it's like, who's saying we want power? We're not saying we're going to take over the world. We're saying we just
mhm,
want equality.
right, and that's the thing, it's I saw somewhere where it's been said that, men are worried that if women were in power, they'd do exactly what they've been doing to us, to them. That's not it at all.
Well, they don't have babies, so we can't ban abortion for them.
Yeah, well, it's the
I
control.
mean, we can't,
It's the power.
I mean, who cares about their Viagra? I don't care about their Viagra. They can have Viagra all they want. I don't fucking
Right,
care.
and
Do
that's
with
what
what
it
you
is,
want.
but that's the theory is that, because they're so controlling on our
Well,
bodies
I
that
mean,
they think that we
for the longest time, we've had a patriarchal society. We've had a patriarchal society, and I'm sure it is very scary to imagine giving that up, but
Mhm,
that's not what we're saying, but
mhm,
the more you take rights away from us, the more we're going to fight you.
mhm,
The more we're going to speak out, the more we're going to man bash, the more we're going to I mean, if you just left us alone, left our bodies
mhm,
alone, that we could do with what we want because they are our bodies. I mean, no one freaking cares what we do with our bodies the rest of the time. It's like if you just left us alone and gave us, the equality of what we wanted, we wouldn't be upset. We wouldn't, I mean, we wouldn't be, like, calling you out, we wouldn't be man bashing, we wouldn't be, because 'cause we'd have nothing to bash.
yep, exactly.
We'd have nothing to bash. Well, they still do make weird
There still might be
decisions.
some, but
Some weird decisions,
but
yeah. Dumb decisions, but
yeah, but yeah, so, well, that's our "Am I the Asshole" episode.
yes,
Um,
yes.
you know, we want you to interact with us so that way we can do better.
Yeah, let
So,
us
rate
know
and
what your
review.
let us know what your thoughts were on our asshole am I the asshole segments, did you agree with us? Did you disagree with us?
Are
Um
we the asshole?
Are we the assholes? No, I don't think are we assholes? Maybe to men we are. Maybe men might say we're assholes.
You know what? That would be the kindest thing I've ever been called by a man.
Well,
So,
yeah, they call us what C words, cunts and bitches, Karens. Oh, I hate Karens. I hate being called the idea of calling someone a Karen really irritates me. Really irritates me because I'm like, you know what? No. First of all, people who are named Karen don't deserve that. Second of all, women are allowed to be vocal. It's how vocal it's what they're vocal about is, but I mean, like, people like, "Oh, she's a bitch." Well, yeah, she's a bitch because she stands up for herself. Like, yeah, I mean, there are assholes, who are women, there are assholes who are men, but I mean, don't call them Karens. Call them an asshole. Call them for what they are, you know? Just the whole Karen thing. Oh, sorry.
yeah.
I'm good.
So, but reach out to us with your stories if
Yes.
you've
Reach out.
experienced any kind of true crime. Did your granddad run into Ted Bundy? You
Jeez.
know,
Mhm.
did you
Yeah.
were you touched by a ghost? Or touched by an angel? Or an alien?
Yeah. Were you abducted? Like an SNL? Like, I love those SNL skits. You're abducted by aliens. No, let us know.
Um,
Share your stories. You can find us on Facebook, on Insta. You can email us at so random and weird pod at gmail.com. And then listen to us word of mouth, share us with your friends, hopefully you like us and you can say, hey, I just got this, podcast, check it out. I mean, we'd love to have that happen. So let us know, reach out to us, share your weird and interesting stories and your scary facts or your scary, just whatever you got. Just just say hi. Reach out and say hi. We want to hear from you.
Yes. So, all right. Well, that's the end of our episode. We hope you have a good rest of your week. Because, yeah, we come out on Mondays. So,
Yeah.
have a good rest of your week.
Yep.
Love you
All right.
guys.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.